once as well. And he's a huge all-round cricketer for them, bowls brilliantly to death, and that is why they've been able to close out 8 wins.
They've just been in great spirits. They've wanted to perform. They've had people that have really stepped up at the right time as well. The question what you asked Graham about why they're a good side. They're balanced. They've got international players. They've got very good 2020 players. They have a man called James Fulton at the end. You cannot hit. He bowls left arm. He bowls out to the back of the hand. The bounce he gets. He bowls that. Bowling some of those wins.
I see the light inside you, brighter than the sky. Just let us escape and fly away tonight. We have the world in our sight, and I know together we'll be right. Can you see forever we will go?
In this contest.
If you also think of how many quarterfinals we've shown over the last few years, and Essex have always been there and not got over that hurdle, maybe this is the time where, if they do underestimate Essex, Lancashire, then they could come at them. But I just see a Lancashire side that are in form at the moment, and they're going to have to play poorly. And I mean really poorly, I think, to lose to Essex today.
Stick with Essex for a minute. What about No Mohamed Amir? How much impact do you think that will have?
Look, to go in with 2 overseas is fantastic. To only have 1 overseas and a leader like he has been, that's what you want in any form of the game. So without him, it gives somebody else an opportunity. Of course it does. And you want your senior players to turn up. That's what you have to do. In these big games, it's down to holding your nerves and the senior players to obviously stand up. Without Amir, obviously it's a massive hole.
It just gives a massive opportunity, as Dominic says, to give someone like Beard a chance. Yeah. I've seen him bowl with a red ball, and I've been highly impressed. I think he's got a lot of skill, a lot of talent. Swings the ball away. He's got skills as well. He's got that ability to. Obviously, it's a white ball. It's not going to do as much. But I'm looking forward to seeing how he deals with the pressure when you've got these lads coming through, and that you've got Livingston coming at him. These Lancashire lads will come hard at these young lads with little experience, and I'm excited to see how he's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him. I think it was down at Hove, wasn't it? And he came in with bowling at the likes of Luke Wright and Phil Salter, and he held his own with no problem there at all. Spoke to Andre Nell out in the field before the game. He says he's really impressive young lad. He said he can strike him as well. He's a decent bowler, but short fella in stature, generates some real pace and looks to have the nerve for it.
Well, we haven't got long to wait. We've had a lot of rain here. We've got a lot of it's gusty wind. So let's hope that dies down a little bit. But it is dry, thankfully. And we're going to have some live action for you very, very shortly. It's Essex have won the toss. They're going to bowl first.
First we learn, then we innovate. The Volvo XC60.
Shih Tzu.
Cockapoo.
Bloodhound.
You know your poodle from your spaniel.
Poodle.
But do you know what you can do with your pension pot? If you're over 50, PensionWise offers free impartial guidance over the phone or face-to-face. To book an appointment, call 0800 138 1888 or search PensionWise Guidance and we'll give you some
pointers.
Just one night, madam?
That's right.
And with your gold card discount, that will be £120 for the night, please.
4-star hotel with a pool for this price. Not bad.
So that's £95 for the night, please?
Wait, what?
Well, if you use Trivago, Trivago will compare prices from hundreds of websites worldwide, making it simple to find a great deal on your hotel. Give it a go. Hotel Trivago.
So we're just about set here, and tomorrow night a second quarter final, Nottinghamshire Outlaws, or the Notts Outlaws against Middlesex. We understand that Mujib is back for Middlesex, so Mujib and AB de Villiers 6:55 tomorrow at Trent Bridge. Dominic Cork now and Charles Dagnall.
Is blazing and just heating us up very nicely in the pod with the wind whipping through, Dominic.
I think that's just the paraffin coming through. I didn't think it was rain, but The fireworks have gone off here.
There is definitely some accelerant around Chesterley Street, and one or two have made the trip up as well. 117 miles it is from Old Trafford to the Riverside in Durham. A little bit longer for those boys. And it's Lancashire who'll use this pitch first after being inserted by Essex. Lancs won this competition once, looking to get to their 8th finals day. Essex have only been to 4, never been to a final either. They've just squeezed in to the quarter-final spots at the last gasp, final round of group games. No Mohamed Amir for them. He's returned to Pakistan, but they still have plenty of ammunition, as do Lancashire, especially with the bat. Alex Davis has been a good player in this format for quite a while now.
Just a little bit of white. Yeah, that's what stuff. No, that's it.
He's going to have first look at young Aaron Beard. Mark Butcher was talking about Beard and having seen him down at Sussex. A little bit of pace, whippy type of action, and a big stage for him now to perform on. It's not been hugely high scoring ground this time. I think 137 the average.
And I think it might be one of those surfaces where 150 is a winning score. Essex bowling from into the wind end, so they can finish with hitting it into the wind.
It's a big ask for Aaron Beard. I don't think he'll have many opportunities to go into this type of gale. Here we go.
Chris. Didn't bounce. Not a lot, anyway.
I just think this game is going to be dictated by the slow bowlers. Zampa by Harmer.
Well, it'll be interesting to see when you look at Alex Davies, Liam Livingston. They like to get, obviously, after the opposition early on in the power play. Want at least 50 in the first 6 overs. Anything more than that on this surface could be trouble for Essex.
Well, pulled away, shouts of catch. It's just going to fall short. But yeah, just to finish off on that, Matthew Parkinson, I think Glenn Maxwell might have a real role to play with the ball today.
Well, this is exactly how Alex Davies got out against Derbyshire. Logan Van Beek bowled a short ball to him at Old Trafford and hit it quite strong, and maybe he would have thought a bit unfortunate to pick out our one fielder.
It looked like he was a little early. Just taking that bottom hand off the bat. Last thing Essex want to see is this bloke click into high gear. It's just perfect timing. Just stick the bat there. James Faulkner's walking in front of the pod and has given us a look as if to say, whew, that's all right.
Well, they did have a slip, and I was just about to say, why have you got a slip? Doesn't look like it even carried to slip. Just walked down towards Beard. Livingston, look, and times it through that leg side. Slip now has gone to a short, fine leg.
He's hit the pitch hard there, Beard. Time was amazing from Liam Livingston.
Daggers, which end do you reckon you'd have got with the breeze as strong as it is?
Well, it's a good question, Dominic.
Obviously,
I could throw it back on you as well.
Obviously, Beardy is bowling into the breeze. Just wondering whether you'd get choice of ends. It's coming straight from those lovely, look at them, the lucky people who are sitting in that.
Got him! Swung it across the line again a little bit early. And the first breakthrough is made, and the dangerous Livingston has to go.
Well, he's always got to try and be aggressive, Livingston. That is his game. But this one just goes into him. Full. Doesn't really bounce. Hits middle stump. Agricultural from Livingston. Big wicket for Essex. They're up and running in the quarter-final.
Leo Livingston was bowled by Aaron Beard for 4.
So Livingston goes for 4, Lancashire 5 for 1.
...2019 Mazda CX-5. Available with 4.1% APR representative. Drive together.
Stephen Croft, new man at the crease. A very good opening over from Aaron Beard. 5 conceded, it's 5 for 1 after 1.
That's his game. That's exactly what Livingston is looking to do in the first power play, first 6 overs. Looking to be aggressive, good from Beard. A good start for Essex.
Well, this is the end if you're a quick bowler you want to bowl from. And another 10 miles an hour to you. This wind. Jamie Porter. You've got to try and sweet talk the captain as much as you possibly can. Make sure you're on from the Lumley end. I tell you what, just looking at this first over, 130, 137, the average. Just has a funny feeling that sort of score might be quite a dangerous one.
Quite a chilly day then, is it?
Oh, no, he wouldn't.
Well, Butcher in the background there's finding it just a little bit cold.
I'll tell you what's the worrying thing.
Graham Onions has got shorts on.
Is that the local lad to our left-hand side, you can't see him, but he has got a blanket on. If he's cold, then there's no hope for us all.
It is cold. That is quite a cold breeze coming straight down the ground. Porter has that breeze. Good lines. I like how aggressive they are, Essex, in the field. They're very tight in the inner circle.
So you're coaching a Lancashire batsman. They've got you, or any batsman. When you have a stiff breeze that you're hitting into, what are you telling the batsman? Don't fight against it. Try and work square of the wicket instead.
Well,
Get your laps
it just depends a lot on the surface. I think what we've seen there, it looks like it's quite a slow surface. So try and wait to the bowler to over pitch, get down to him like he's out of his crease now.
Beautiful shot. A lot of wrists in that from Alex Davis.
And just slap it through the offside for 4. It's exactly what you do. Wait for the bowler to just slightly over pitch. Watch his wrists here. Just watch his wrists. Slaps it through. And that's because there's a little bit of width as well.
Amazing power generated. Quick hands. Well, as I said in the preview, Lancashire getting here, top of the group. Essex just squeezing in at the last moment. They went from 7th to 4th in the South Group over the space of a couple of hours on the final round of group games.
Well, what a great, last day it was in the South Group. No one knew who was going to be 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
Carved away. Long chase, no chance. 2 overs gone, 13 for 1.
Width is on offer here from Porter. A little bit short as well. Davies gets it past backward point just and races away.
Change your bowling. Right arm over to you.
Well, Aaron Beard, just the one over. Successful one, getting rid of Liam Livingston. Conceded just 5 runs. They're going to turn to their Australian very early in the piece. Intrigued to see if he does get any action. This slowish looking surface. And arguably one of the best headbands in all of cricket. From Adam Zampa.
You must have wore a headband in your career.
Back in the day I did, yeah. Top knots.
So did I, so I can't really say. I didn't have one like that. Look at that.
It's thick.
Pat Cash. Remember it is.
It's Quickcroft. Maybe advancing in years, but he's still a very fit boy. There's double width to it. What are you laughing at?
I'm just laughing at Graham Onions. He is actually shivering. He's shivering. He is actually shivering. He's shivering.
That beard was black this morning. Huge appeal, not straight. No from umpire Saggers.
It looked straight, didn't it? Whether it held or whether it's just going to go on and miss leg stump. What do you think? It's close, that.
What might be difficult to judge as well is him bowling into this wind. It might just hold things up mid-flight. Might have to not quite be there for it as a batsman.
Let's have a look at this LBW. Doesn't hold, does it? It's a good decision. Good decision.
Middle one's just got to come. That's it. 2 to come.
Just the single. That's where his protection is, Adam Zampa.
And also because what Lancashire do very well at Old Trafford is they make sure they pick up a lot of twos because of how big the area is, square of the wicket each side. That's what they try and do. Durham do the same here, try and out to you.
Then has it bisected them? Yeah, it has. Just as Dominic Cork suggested. 2 to finish the over. 3 overs gone, 18 for 1.
What's the next big thing? Your whiter smile. Introducing Colgate Expert Anti-Stain with advanced dual action. It removes deep set and dark surface stains for up to 3 shades whiter teeth. Reveal your whiter smile. With new Colgate Expert Anti-Stain. You've got it.
Just towards your touch for centre, Crofty. Yeah.
2 boundaries conceded from Jamie Porter's first over. He's going to continue.
Got away with that, Porter. What Croft tries to do is create width by staying sometimes leg side of it. Tries to open up that offside by staying leg side, open his stance up. Very open stance, wide stance as well.
Safely home, Croft. I suppose a lot of this, when it comes with Lancashire being away from home, considering it is a home game, but the test being played at Old Trafford, of course, a lot of the time you feed off the crowd and the energy of the crowd. They don't have that here today. Nature of the kind of day it is as well, weather-wise. Just held back. It's got to be quick. Throw misses anyway. Run in the breadbasket.
not really what you want is to be called through for a quick single, to being hit there. Good use of that into the surface, slower ball.
Testing out whether you've done your sit-ups. Well, hacked across the line, but it's productive. And it brings Croft his first boundary.
Trying to keep it straight, but just over pitches. And because of Croft's stance, he's able to get rid of that front leg. And anything round about leg stump outside, he can just flick it over. Smaller boundary towards the leg side, towards the pavilion.
Another slower ball. Just wonder with the dimensions of this ground. He talked about the twos that were being picked up, and Hampshire is another one, big surface area. The Essex play at Chelmsford, will they have to adapt their batting game a little bit due to the sort of postage stamp nature of their home ground?
Yeah, possibly. You just got to try and understand what wins games on this side of at this ground. That's what you've got to do. Whatever they set, we'll try and get more. And how did they do it? End of the over. 4 overs gone, 25 for 1. But if you look at a majority of grounds around the country, Derby is similar. Straight is a lot shorter. Bristol, well, we've got a quarter-final there. Quite a lot shorter straight, and they normally have like deep boundaries square of the wicket.
Another change. Talk about experience. Just been pointed to me by Corky next door. 329 matches. Ravi Bopara. Yeah, I've got a funny feeling that his brand will be absolutely perfect on this surface. Gone high. Out. And straight down the throat. 72 miles an hour. Again, reaching for it. Stephen Croft didn't judge the pace and accepted gratefully in the deep.
Into the surface. You'll see a lot of that today. Tries to get it square up. Easy catch for Dan Lawrence. And a good start for Bopara, a good start for Essex. Rid of the dangerous Livingston, now also the experience of Stephen Croft. He's gone for 8, 25 for 2.
Guys.
So successful, Ravi Bopara. First delivery, and now he's got one of the world's best. Glad Maxwell to the crease, even though the batsman crossed, so he's at the non-striker's end. He looks cold. Heaved by Davis.
Beautiful kiddo.
Well, that's good because he's bowling to his field there. He just changed deep mid-wicket where Croft had picked out Dan Lawrence. Lost his little bit of a wheel spin, wasn't it? And he's put in now a deep square leg. So this is a little spell here for both teams. Essex will want to keep on taking wickets. Lancashire need a partnership.
Rapid between the sticks is Glenn Maxwell. Well, one thing he won't do is worry. We saw a match against Nottinghamshire earlier on this season. Lancashire were 2-3 down very, very early, and he took his time and then blitzed towards the back end. So he won't panic, he won't feel the need to blast it round the park from ball one. Nicely run. Again, hardly getting any bounce from that Papara delivery. And that's what Papara's protection is. See those little bits of sawdust soaking up the water that came down. We had a big downpour around about an hour prior to the start of play. Thought it might have been delayed, but everything was on time.
I'd like to have a look at that wide again. I'm not sure this doesn't just clip his thigh pad here. You heard Ravi Bopara shouting no.
I don't hear anything. Nothing.
Dave Villas, captain. Take anything that will keep you warm.
Like he's wearing a house coat.
Is that what they call a dressing gown? A house coat?
In Derby they do, yeah. Anyway, end of the 5th over. I'm off for another coat. 29 for 2.
Love the feeling of getting great value? Well, you're in luck. Booking.com Genius Week is here. Get an instant discount. All at the click of a button. Offer ends the 10th of September.
Switch of ends for Aaron Beard. Just over, brought in the wicket. Just over behind the wicket of Liam Livingston. Switch now to the Lumley Castle end.
I've said earlier that I wanted to see how this Beard was going to go, Aaron Beard, and he's hasn't disappointed so far. He's not got a great deal to work with. Straight away, I'll be thinking as a batter, you just got to get yourself in on this pitch. It's not going to be a 160, 170 pitch at all. Even the 140 that has been poor might be coming down a little bit. No pace to work with at all.
Well, goes for the short ball, tries to test out Maxwell. And Maxwell passes the test with flying colours.
Yeah, 86 mile an hour, but just the wrong length. Pitch is too slow for that, and he just rocks back and hits it behind square. Far too much time on him. Well, not to try to do a little bit of homework, and Maxwell is potentially susceptible to the short ball, but not on this pitch.
Did have the eyes closed there for a second, got a little bit cramped up underneath the left armpit, but Maxwell was equal to it. Changing the field now, 2 men have gone back on the leg side for this final over the power play. Slow ball, and as Graham Onion says, the ball has bitten into the surface. It didn't reach Glenn Maxwell with anything on it whatsoever, and he was lucky to get away with that leading edge.
Yeah, just the off-cutter into the pitch. We're going to see a lot of those coming up now with a lot of spin. This type of pitch, could just suit Essex down to the tee here. Really slower type of bowlers biting into this pitch.
Well, that's been drilled. splits the two fielders out there on the leg side boundary. Nothing that speedster Ryan Ten-Doeschate can do about it.
There's out the screws, straight out the middle of that Kookaburra bat. Dissecting the field beautifully.
One thing I will say about this surface, I saw it change in the match here last week. And whilst we're going to have to hurry here, direct hit, and I think Maxwell was done for. The first innings, Durham found the going pretty tough, chiselling their way to 150. And then, as the sun disappeared behind the stand, Maxwell perhaps would have made it home. And the dew started to appear. The ball went to all parts in the second half. Important that Lancashire post a challenging total here, batting first. Cleverly done by Davis. That's a brilliant stroke. Be well worth having another look at that. 6 gone, 43 for 2.
...2019 Mazda CX-5. Available with 4.1% APR representative. Drive together.
Martin Saggers signalling the end of the power play into the second phase of the game. Ravi Bopara will bowl his second over from the Finkel end. 3 for 2 in the opening exchanges. Neither side getting out in front just as yet.
Who do you think the happiest is, Butch?
Well, all the while Maxwell and Davies are together building a partnership, I don't think Lancashire have anything to worry about. Essex will be very pleased to have chipped a couple of wickets away. I think it's even Stevens really for the power play. Neither side is running away with it. Neither side is in trouble.
I certainly think that the pitch has played pretty much exactly how we thought, really. You know, very slow, maybe sticking in a few cross seamers are going to come in as well, and obviously it's going to spin a little bit as well. You can see by the guards on the pitch there that when the batter's been scratching either middle, it's so dry, very, very abrasive pitch.
Oh, that's brilliantly done. Had to generate all of the pace on the ball himself, Glenn Maxwell. He sent it away for his third boundary.
Just noticed to me, anything straight is relatively hard to score. Anything slightly short or any kind of width, either offside or leg side, it's almost easy pickings, really. So, it's not so much a bad pitch. It's just a case of obviously any width at all is obviously going to travel. I think just a little bit going on to Livingston's dismissal as well. Is that he'd probably be disappointed because he's gone across the line, rather than actually, especially early on the pitch like this where it's just going to stay slightly low. Maybe he should have just went straight rather than go across the line.
Just a bit, BD.
It's a ground that doesn't yield a lot of boundaries. Two reasons for that: the surface, perhaps a little on the slow side, but also because of the huge dimensions here at the riverside. Durham like to make full advantage of that and get the boundaries out as far as they can. That's exactly the case here in this home stroke away quarter-final for Lancashire. Oh, that's nipped back and he's got him. Glenn Maxwell caught on the crease. Ravi Bopara angling the ball in towards the Australian overseas player, and he's got to go.
Yeah, and he's just saying there that might have rolled. I wasn't sure if it was potentially going down when I first saw that, but I'm not sure. It's just because I'm obviously a Lancashire fan, Lancashire player, but that's probably hitting middle stump. But yeah, I thought it was going down.
Oh, that's all right. We had Mark Wood in here last week, and he was far more partisan than you are. Glenn Maxwell goes. Promising innings is cut off short. He goes for 14. It's 47 for 3. Let's have a look. Did keep low, that is for sure.
It's missing. I told you all along. Told you. I would make a good umpire. When I first came down, I did say I just had a feeling that was going down, just because he almost opens up the offside anyway, because he likes to. What is it? The helicopter shot.
Yeah, called it absolutely right. Glenn Maxwell did stay leg side of it as well. You could almost see all 3 stumps to the right-hand side of his back pad, but never mind. He's got to go. Dane Villash is the new batsman. It's a big breakthrough for Essex, because Villash and Maxwell together have been. Well, they've been an absolute pest to opposition right the way through the tournament. Maxwell isn't going to have the chance to bat with his captain, but Bopara's got that line right. He's got the ball angling in.
Yeah, it's definitely a line that you want to bowl. Those last 2 dismissals there, last 2 deliveries there. You know, kind of nipping back from off stump, hitting that middle and leg. That's the kind of line that you want to kind of bowl.
Just make yourself comfortable there, that's fine. Get your footstool out. Bopara again with the in-swinger. It's a successful over, maybe a slightly fortuitous one. 47 for 3.
Yeah, just highlights that there's you can't bowl with any kind of wick. You know, potentially going across the line there in Livingston, but we've still got Davies in there. He's played some fantastic shots, fantastic wrists, really. I mean, it just shows when the field's up, he can manipulate the strike, and you're not quite sure where you're going to go. But yeah, I mean, obviously that wicket there to 47 for 3, losing Maxwell there is disappointing.
Well, you asked the question in the previous over, who would be happier in the power play? It's now Essex without any question. Wicket of Maxwell has just tilted the balance in favour of the visitors. Simon Harmer into the attack for Essex, the skipper. 10 wickets in the group stages, and has been a shrewd leader for the Essex Eagles. Heavy wicket taker in Championship cricket.
Very good, lads. Excellent, boys.
Very successful Essex side. Bowling with the wind at his back. I'm sure you'd have been all that keen on that, as if your captain, the off-spin bowler, was bowling with the wind and you were pushing up into it.
There's one thing's for sure, is this wind's doing nothing for my receding hairline. Absolutely nothing at all. But there's one thing's for sure, is that these two are going to scurry between the pitches. 2 of the smallest members of our team, and they're going to run very, very hard. Dane, renowned, unbelievable engine, runs non-stop, gets lots of 2s.
Bit of grip for Harmer. I think that's another area where Essex may have an advantage. If that dew comes down the same way as it did last week, then Harmer and Zampa will get some purchase as the 50 comes up. But Lancashire's slow bowlers may not. They may not be able to grip it. Oh, that's going to be very close indeed. Huge appeal. Burns must think that there was... Well, he doesn't think there's some bat on it. He's given it as leg byes. Hits him outside. That is a brilliant decision. Love to see that again, but I think it hits him outside the line.
Nice, Harvey, nice boy. We're mixing, Harvey.
massive LBW shout there. Is that just going outside the line?
Yeah, I reckon it hit him just outside the line. Clever start. Good over from Harmer. It's 52 for 3. Well, worth another look. I think Mike Burns has given an absolute blinder of a decision.
As a bowler, you're thinking that's absolutely stone dead, aren't you? You're just thinking that's out. But that is a fantastic decision. And it's missing. What do we know?
Adam Zampa had 1 over in the power play, cost him 5. Dual spin attack for the Essex Eagles. This is where Lancashire might look to target Zampa down the ground with the wind. Got plenty of cover out there on the leg side, deep backward square, deep mid wicket, long on and back. Huge wide open spaces out there on the leg side. Down the ground might be the way to go, I think, if you're batting.
Yeah, we have statisticians now that tell us that the generally, you know, Old Trafford is slightly shorter straight, so we've tried to bring it in a little bit. And then obviously when the Essex bat is that they like to sweep square, so we'll try to make that as big as we possibly can.
Shout was 2, but Zampa scampers.
Beautiful Zampi, beautiful boy.
I do feel, Butchers, that, you know, the next, you know, 7-8 overs is where this game is going to be, you know, potentially won or lost. Can we rotate the strike? Can we get 2s? Can we pick up the occasional boundaries? If they can pick up a couple of wickets as well, that's where they're going to be right on top.
Again, the shout is 2. But Para is very quick out of the blocks.
Superb Ravi boy.
Good to be home for you. Good to be back here at the Riverside.
Yeah, it's always nice to come here. So many amazing memories, so many opportunities that have been given here. Yeah, it's a fantastic place to come on. Good running there by Davies. Maybe it's a little bit of a stutter, but always going to get there with the pace that these guys are. But yeah, as I said, I've been given an amazing opportunity over the years to play here, and it's fantastic.
They get the 2 this time.
Back in.
At the 3rd time of asking. Bit of support here for Lancashire. 3 coaches were put on free of charge by the club to bring some of those die-hard fans up to support the team. You drive up yourself or you jump in one of the freebies?
You know me too well, trying to save on my petrol. It's strange, isn't it? Lancashire are playing in the quarter-final, and obviously they're playing a home game at Durham. It's strange, but obviously with the Test match going on, let's not get into the politics of it all. And Durham, to be fair, have been very accommodating. They want as many games as they can have here, and they've been great. They've put practice pitches on as well.
Again, really slow from Zampa. Plenty of cover out there on the leg side as well. It's another relatively cheap over. 9 gone, 59 for 3.
I run Fox News. I will do anything to protect my people. I'm a multifaceted man.
The 100th NFL season on Sky Sports. Feel it all.
Lumley Castle, resplendent in the distance. Decent start for the Essex Eagles. 3 men back in the hutch, 3 dangerous players back in the hutch.
just sense, the game's in the balance, don't you? You just feel as though, it's not, as I said before, it's not even 150 is not necessarily going to be a massive score on here.
Lancashire doing the right thing, just looking to hustle, pick up every run that they can. I mean, you say that 150 would be a good score if the conditions stay the same. If the conditions stay the same for both teams, 40 overs of cricket, then 150, decent score. But we get due, and if the conditions change to the extent that they did last week, then 150 probably won't be enough.
That's, I mean, I played here for 15, 16 years, and there was never as much dew as there was on that game. I remember watching it. Good contest this between two South African lads, both fantastic performers.
Excellent, men. Excellent, boys.
Stabbed away for a single. Davies goes on to 29. And the halfway point, Lancashire are 64 for 3.
Chaffel there on the back, just taking the notes. His notes will tell him, if he's done his research, which I'm sure he has, a score of around 140, 150. Batting first here is a good effort. Average score's 138, so to get there, he's got to go at about just over 8 runs per over from here on, last 10. Great deal of turn, more skidding on there. Good work. Big outfield here, so not easy to hit boundaries. Good work from Dan Lawrence. Dominic Cork's with me. You're not a note taker, are you?
No. There is so much, I think, done pre-game and so much talked about. So many different stats, average scores. Sometimes I think as a coach, you can just cloud your mind too much. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the average score is it's what Lancashire can get from here. And all he'll want to know, Glenn Chappell, is can we get to 140? If we get to 140, that could be a winning score.
Lovely looking shot to another single. Finding the boundaries hard to come by at the moment.
But that doesn't mean taking notes or whatever you do is wrong. There's a lot of coaches out there who do it. Glenn Chappell's one, Paul Nixon is another one. It takes a lot of notes, Nico.
No. Get on.
Just needed that to release a little bit of pressure. Excellent over, 10 runs have come from it. We've got 9 to go, 74 for 3.
Who will gain momentum as the race to Euro 2020 continues? Find out live on Sky Sports.
The brand new series of The Reluctant Landlord.
So exciting!
The magic is still there.
All episodes available now on Sky One.
lads, keep taking wickets here.
Well, they know each other really well.
Skills, Harmy, skills, boy.
Playing the same domestic South African T20 franchise side, the Josie Stars. In the Mzansi Super League in South Africa, one that happened just before Christmas, happening again. There's a few more English players going this year. Bopara is going, Livingston's going, two players out here. James Vince is making the trip.
Dane Villas, from the games we've covered and from what I hear, I think is an excellent captain. I think he's done a terrific job throughout the Blast, not only as a batsman but as the way he's conducted himself and the team.
Nice, Harmy, skills, boy. Not a pole with Harmy.
Just allowing nothing, can't get underneath the ball. Villas has tried his trusty reverse sweep. There's two men on that shot, or saving that shot, so now he's having to go down the ground. But Simon Harmer's giving him nothing to hit. Outstanding over, 4 runs have come from it. 78 for 3.
Well, it's going well for Essex at the moment. Controlling the game. What he's got to make sure of is that the Essex captain, that Villas and Davies don't now try and wrestle the momentum away from his side. I think you know that it's a sort of service that isn't easy to time the ball on.
Para 2 for 8. One of those, Maxwell, it was sliding down. It was a little fortuitous LBW decision given out. That's what he'll be trying to do, though. Wicket to wicket, doesn't want to offer up any width at all. It's been in very good form, Ravi Bopara, with the bat in the last couple of games. Crucial games, they've had to win both of them. They've done so. He's played a major role, batting down the order, 5 and 6.
Just remembering, I don't know why, I always think of you as Warwickshire, but I forgot you started at Essex. That's why you're all Essex tonight, isn't it? I forgot, sorry.
Ain't got time to go through your counties, Corky.
Got a bowling coach at Derby called Steve Kirby. He's had 6 counties.
Get there, Rav, get there, Rav. Keep bowling. Go! Beautiful, Ravi, beautiful boy.
Amazing how these bowlers who were quite aggressive bowlers have gone into coaching. Andre Nall here with that, what was his alter ego name? Was it Gunter, was it? He used to write Gunter at the top of his mark. Steve Kirby, he used to say round the wicket and call the ambulance. They've all calmed down now. Mellow.
It's 2. So good in the outfield, they really have. It's a very, very big outfield, but they're, what, 15, 20 yards in.
Well, it's just saying to Lancashire, you want to try and hit it over the top. Good luck on this surface. You're not having any 2s.
Whenever we've done Derby games, you seem to be very calm. That's not like you when you played. Have you made a special effort?
No, I think I can't do anything about it sitting there. So there's a waste of time of being up and down. It's got to try and stay calm and try and, you know, get your information over if you need to. Once the game starts, there's not a lot you do, really.
Game wants to. This is a tester. Villas desperately wants to come back, and it's a good call in the end. Absolutely no chance. More good work in the deep. 6 from the over, 84 for 3. Yeah, your game is Saturday.
Yeah, we're Saturday against Gloucester. Yeah, tomorrow obviously a big game, isn't it? That Notts versus Middlesex. Wow, that is big hitters. That's at Trent Bridge tomorrow night, and then you've got Sussex versus Worcester, the holders. No Jason Berendorf for Sussex. It's a big loss for them.
How cold do we look, by the way?
We look very cold. Your hair looks terrible.
Thanks, mate.
And also the cardigan you're wearing underneath your coat.
It's not a cardigan.
Whatever it is, it's terrible.
Thanks, mate. Delport.
Well, I think it just, this is exactly what Dane Villas as captain will think. Okay, we've got a bit of pace in our side. Gleeson and Mahmood, but it's about taking pace off on this surface.
He gets lucky. There's not really much in for that shot on a pitch like this against this pace of bowling. Really need the extra pace just to use that pace. Do a lot of work there.
Tell you what I liked about that shot, though, Dane Villas. He got down really early, didn't he? Something like Marcus Trescothick did that when he swept really well. Got down really early, watched the line of the ball, and even though there was no pace, he could get it straight over. Look, goes down really early. You see a lot of players trying to play those shots, and they're on the move, so you've not actually got a solid base. You've got to be brave, I think, to play those sort of shots. Even though he's got no pace, Cameron Delport, he's down early, so wherever he bowls, leg stump, off stump, he's in a position.
I'd say that's a better option. Try and use your angles, try and stay leg side and try and free the hands, try and create the pace.
Just going to say the home supporters are getting behind them, but, well, they are the home supporters, but they've made quite a long journey up to their home ground today.
Yeah, it's a little strange, isn't it? That, it's a pretty small crowd, but it's a neutral venue, if you like. It's Lancashire's home quarter-final, but because of a clash with the Test match, this is where they're playing it. Now, should come back, yeah, that's what they've done well. They've been trying to come back for 2. It hasn't always worked for them. Putting the fielders under pressure. 7 from it, 91 for 3.
Come on then, Nick, you're doing all 4 games. Who do you think's making finals day? Nail them now.
Well,
Essex won, I know you're going to go there.
I like Lancashire, I have to say. I think they've been outstanding in the competition.
So Lancashire, Notts or Middlesex tomorrow?
I think Middlesex.
Sussex or Worcester?
Oh, Sussex, Worcester. Give me 30 seconds on that one.
Well, that's at home, Sussex. No Jason Berendorf. Worcester.
Yeah, Hamish Rutherford is out. He's gone to replace Martin Guptill. He's got injured, so then he won't play for Worcestershire. I'm going to go Sussex.
So you're going Sussex, and then obviously on Saturday,
I've got to go Derby. Got to go Derby.
Are you going Derby?
Of course I am, because you're my mate.
Doesn't matter.
You'll have to get Klinger out. If you get Klinger out early.
I think they're a better side than just Klinger.
Oh, I agree with that, and they've done so well, haven't they? Because Benny Howe hasn't played recently, and they've still found a way of winning. Now they're an excellent side. But you're my mate.
Oh, we're underdogs, I can tell you that. We'll go into it and try and do well, and we'll wait and see who makes it. But it's a massive day for any team who wins this game. This is really your semi-final.
Yeah, and I'd say if Lancashire win this, 47 from 47, I think this partnership's been about as good as it can get so far. And they'll look to expand on that now. There's a bit of a heave, it was a little ugly, but it was mighty effective.
Well, they're getting close to 3 figures with 5 overs left. We've talked about 140, 150, and all it needs now is one of these players. If Davies is going to bat all the way through, is it Dane Villas to say, right, I'm going to tee off right now. I'm going to attack.
Just settled for one. That's why I said 47 from 47 before that boundary. This partnership has been excellent. They've read the conditions just about as well as they possibly can. It's not easy batting out there. Not easy finding the boundary. But they've held their nerve up until now. And as you say, if one of them can just get going now and finish well, then they'll be up to, say, 140, 150. Again, wants to. This will be a tester. They'll come back. Excellent running. It really is very, very good running. Makes, what, for 10 off the over so far with a ball to go.
And you can just feel the momentum shift. All of a sudden now, Lancashire are feeling just a bit more confident. Think about what they've got left to come as well. The likes of Keaton Jennings, James Faulkner. Maybe Faulkner comes in next. And this is what you have to do on big grounds. Run your twos, put them under pressure. Try and finish the game off.
Game finds the gap. And will find the boundary. And will go to 50. High class 50. It's taken him 40 balls, but he's read the situation perfectly.
Yeah, just 5 balls. Strike rate of under 130, 127 he is at the moment. That's been a good 50.
Come on, boy. Get a fresh in here, lads.
Lancs have set themselves up here. Cameron Delport, his little wobblers.
Nice camo, nice camo.
Continuing. He's got the wind as well.
I'll tell you, it's somebody else who's played like he's had the wind of...
From Davis. He spent 15 overs there. He's around 20. I think he's going to post a total they'll feel pretty happy with, you'd imagine.
Yeah, you're looking at 10s, aren't you, the last 5. So Lanc should get 150 and beyond. Essex just trying to take all the pace off it, bowl as straight as possible. And again, I repeat myself, because it bears repeating, that if the conditions stay the same and Lancs get 150, then it'll take some chasing. If he gets wet and dewy and the bowlers struggle to grip it, that might not be enough.
Oh! Got to be quick. Would have been out, you fancy? The direct hit, only one stump to aim at. Villas would have been struggling.
Well, I suspect there was a big groan in the marquee back at Chelmsford that Essex County Cricket Club have put on a couple of big screens back there for the fans to go in and watch this quarter-final contest.
That's bonus runs. Signalled wide. Every time we went to Chelmsford, it chucked it down. Went there 3 times. Never saw any balls bowled.
Starting to think it might be you, Daggers.
Heaved away. Has it got the distance? Just. And that is a most productive over for Lancashire. 16 gone, 118 for 3.
Well, this is good work from Damon Villas, the captain. Gets a short delivery. It's just what you want, really. The last thing you want to be doing is hitting it down the ground. Batting at the Finkel end. Partnership is now 71 from 58. Adam Zampa is now drying that ball feverishly. There's going to be some dew.
Does that change the context of this game, as you've been saying? We'll have to see how. I mean, last time we were up here was the Durham versus Bears game. Oh, it's threaded through. That's probably got enough to reach the boundary as well. They always say first and last balls are the over. That's where you've got to be looking for your boundaries. They've got half the job done.
Now that scoring rate is starting to rattle along. Zampa again, just guilty of giving Davies width. He's hardly missed anything square of the wicket today. Threads it between those two fielders behind point on the offside. Picks up another boundary, which is a really good partnership now.
Shout of 2 immediately. Comfortably home. But yeah, when we were up here, what was it, a week or so ago? The outfit was drenched just from the dew. A big pile of rain prior to the start of the game. Just sat on there. Birmingham managed to get the ball changed in their innings. Again, shout of 2. Comfortably home. They're playing this very nicely. Are the, in inverted commas, home side?
Yeah, it's low risk stuff, isn't it? That's the main thing. Zampa again goes for the bar towel.
How alien is it, though, on a surface like this where it is so slow, and you might be used to quicker and bouncier pitches, balls coming on, to actually sort of adjust your game to wait as long as they are?
Yeah, they've all done it particularly well. These two have done it particularly well, I should say. Both of them have really let the ball come as close to them as possible before trying to force it away. Guys that have perished, Liam Livingston and Stephen Croft to perhaps a lesser extent, playing big shots, playing out in front of the body, and it's very difficult to find the middle of the bat when you do that.
Dragged down again. Villas wants 2. Davis will be running to the danger end. It secures the brace comfortably. Boundary off the first. 3 2s and a single. This is good accumulation from Lancashire. Every ball now. That towel in operation. Partnership up to 82.
Yeah, it just shows there's more than one way to score your runs in T20 cricket. It's not always banging it out of the ground.
Again, as long as he could possibly wait, Dave Villas still didn't find the middle of the bat, but good enough. And 12 off the over. 3 overs remain. Lancashire 130 for 3.
And that's the end of Adam Zampa. None for 34 for the New South Welshman.
To say you might have expected better?
Yeah, possibly. They'd have expected him to pick up a wicket or 2, but Davies and Villas have played him really well. Harmer's figures are excellent. Will he finish, though, in the 18th? Looks as though Harmer probably won't bowl out his allocation despite being miserly with his off-spin. Jamie Porter has been brought back into the attack from the Lumley end.
Saw a lot of slow balls from Jamie Porter. Expecting more of the same. Interesting if Harmer doesn't bowl out and Zampa's not perhaps as successful as we thought maybe he would be on this surface. But it's a slightly different angle on how Lancashire spinners may do. Starting off 68 miles an hour. He can be forgiven. With all of those clear skies, it's quite a lovely evening here in Durham. Do with just nudging up the thermostat. Oh, not quite got hold of it. Just wonder also, because of the amount of time that the batsmen have had to wait when the ball is actually hitting the surface, that might have just come onto him a little bit more quickly than he thought and wasn't quite ready. Sure, they've all got those little teabag hand warmers in the pockets. Tell you what, she's done well. Let's put the coat on just now.
All right, let's carry on. Right, thank you. Fine,
I bet Dad's just said that. Stick it on, love, you're on TV. Then the shout is 2, and again the pace is just perfect, even though he just got a little bit of bat. Thought it might have been leg byes, but again it's the distance deep square has to cover.
Seen Dane Vilas twice previously from the pod this year, once in the Roses match at Headingley, played quite brilliantly in that one, post a score for his team. And again at Old Trafford against Nottinghamshire. That's brilliant running. Very, very good indeed. Once again, it's Dane Vilas in the heart of things for Lancashire, running the opposition ragged, running his own lungs out as well.
It's amazing. He knew how badly he'd hit that and immediately shouted 2. Davis with the pace to complete it. That's been picked up, but should be down the throat. A deep backward square. It's one of the few times where it might have clattered into the middle of Dane Vilas's back. But he has to go.
Now it's Paul Walter takes the catch. Huge figure of Paul Walter out at deep backward square. Vilas was breathing hard, breathing heavily. Didn't find the middle of the bat, but it might not matter. As Jamie Porter, no, he's fine. He's fine. The initial point of contact, I think, for that heel was behind the line. Only has to be a millimetre of boot behind it. And I think he's okay. Dane Vilas is going to have to keep going.
Yeah, I'm with you. Inch or so. Just need a little bit of soul to be beyond the white line. Dane Vilas has to depart. But it has been a valuable partnership between he and Alex Davis. Helped the pair to a partnership of 89 from 69 deliveries. Those massive buckets of Paul Walter, making no mistake. So Villas goes for 41. It's 136 for 4.
Well, Essex needed that. Jamie Porter very happy to have broken that partnership. It's a great time to do it as well. New man out is James Faulkner. Former finisher for Australia.
Davis frustrated with himself, he couldn't connect. End of the 18th over. 12 balls remain. Lancashire 136 for 4. Interesting, we've seen James Faulkner actually come down a lot lower for Lancashire during the course of this Vitality Blast. Keaton Jennings, Josh Bohannon, still to come. Just wonder if it's how he's going to play it. If they want him to try and blast it, see what he can get from 12 balls.
That's your middle, yeah.
Rather than a nudger and a nurdler, perhaps. So Aaron Beard is back. First over good, his second over a little dear. And this is the danger over because they're going to be hitting with the wind. Nudged. And 2. Clever cricket. Bat on ball. First ball you face. Lancashire's running has brought Essex in 10 or 15 yards from the rope. Just a single this time. Amazing, this is Alex Davis innings. 64 not out, 48 deliveries. So that strike rate is still, you would expect, it's 133, but that's a similar kind of strike rate if it's bouncing through and you're getting full value for your shots. Oh, very nice, Alex Davis. Even though he's got the wind to hit with, he's gone against it. Still brought him 4.
Well, he's played entirely to his strengths this innings. Just trying to use any ounce of pace that he can possibly have. Look to try and go down the ground. Perhaps that's not his thing. But when you can play shots like that, it doesn't matter.
Oh, he's done it again, this time on the other side. Clever, Alex Davis.
Now, whatever Alex Beard was going for, Aaron Beard, apologies, looked like he might have been trying to attempt that wide Yorker, but missed his length by miles, and the pace on just aided Davies in getting that up and over third man. That's precipitated a change. Fine leg has gone back now. Palmer's trying to keep the ball dry for his bowler. That's a good sign if you're an Essex fan. The fact that the ball is getting wet. But at the moment, this is becoming an imposing score. Lancashire have played very, very smartly indeed. 72 from 50 now for Davies.
Well, let him have the single. At 150. Looming. tells its own story. Got him. Really well disguised as well. Threw the shot way too early, James Faulkner. Fair enough. Last ball of the over. Worth a try. Aaron Beard picks up his second wicket.
Yeah, well bowled. Into the pitch. Faulkner looking to go to the long side of the ground over the leg side. The disguise fools him completely. He knew it before the ball had clattered into the stumps, and all he could do was wait for the rattle, which duly came. Faulkner goes for 3. Here's 148 for 5.
So the last over to be bowled by Jamie Porter. You just get the feeling this 148 for 5 is more than competitive for Lancashire. Oh, just keeps picking them out, Alex Davis. Doesn't matter, don't need to go down the ground when you've got hands like that and a touch of genius.
Moves on to 77. I reckon his wagon wheel will have the ball disappearing to all points behind square. Whether off or leg side, whether playing them right-handed or left-handed. That brings up the 150 for Lancashire.
That's well bowled, but he might squeeze 2 here. Get Davis back on strike. Tom Wesley it is who's got to do all the work. And they've tried to cut off that shot leg side for Alex Davis. Fine leg is back, just in front of us in the pod. Tom Wesley, and there's also deep square, deep mid-wicket, long on. So 4 on the leg side boundary.
Davies has gone past 300 runs for the campaign.
He's done well there, Jamie Porter. Could quite easily have just flicked an underarm, knowing there was no one backing up. Trying it again, just no width really to work with. Nothing.
Adam Zampa at short third man saw him turn round to left-handed and got on his bike, started sprinting back towards the third man boundary. Keith Jennings with potentially 2 balls to make some sort of a mark on the innings. Found himself floating around the batting order for Lancashire in this year's blast. It really has been a terrific innings from Davies, the other end. Highest score by a Lancashire player in a quarter-final. Might well be one that's good enough to see them through the finals day. Who knows?
Clean connection, he's really walloped it. Jennings wants the second. Gets home comfortably. Again, slightly mishit, should allow them to come through for the second. And that, I think, if you'd offered Lancashire it after the first over, they would have snapped your hand off at 159 for 5. It's been a superb knock from Alex Davis. He's been there the entirety of the 20 overs. Strike rate of 145, but just 9 boundaries in the 55 balls that he faced. And he possibly, as you say, Mark Butcher, has set his side up for a trip to finals day.
Yeah, it's not over till it's over, though, Daggers. 160 then for Essex Eagles. If conditions stay the same, it'll be a really good score. It's the highest score, in fact, at the Riverside this season. And Alex Davies quite rightly accepts the applause from the travelling Lancashire fans. However, should the conditions change, as they did last week, then it will not be out of sight for Essex, and they have to believe that. Davies, the mainstay, 80 from 55, a superb partnership between himself and skipper Dane Villas that saw them up to that total of 160. And it was a decent enough performance from Lancashire. They sussed out the conditions, they sussed out the dimensions of the ground and played accordingly to get themselves up to 159 for 5.
2 wickets apiece for Parra and for Beard. Parra, the bigger bowlers today. Simon Harmer, inexpensive. Just going at 4.3. Surprised he didn't get his 4th over out. Overall, might have expected a little better. Well, it's going to be a testing target, 160 runs to win, but Essex have got plenty in the tank. Wesley, Delport, Wheater, Lawrence, Tender, Scarter, Parra. It's a strong batting lineup. They're going to have to be at their best for the right to go to finals day on the 21st.
Cocoa and hazelnut no added sugar granola. New from WK Kellogg. Plant-based no added sugar granolas. Voted product of the year.
What's the next big thing? Your whitest smile. Introducing Colgate Expert Anti-Stain with advanced dual action. It removes deep-set and dark surface stains for up to 3 shades whiter teeth. Reveal your whitest smile. With new Colgate Expert Anti-Stain. You've got it.
Alexa. Alexa, what's the weather like right now?
Currently it's light rain.
Shih Tzu.
Cockapoo.
Bloodhound.
You know your poodle from your spaniel.
Poodle.
But do you know what you can do with your pension pot? If you're over 50, PensionWise offers free impartial guidance over the phone or face-to-face. To book an appointment, call 0800 138 1888 or search PensionWise Guidance and we'll give you some
pointers. I'm a business chap.
Oh, shall we order a takeaway?
Did somebody say just eat?
Did somebody say just eat?
Did somebody say just eat? Did somebody say just eat?
You're not that hungry.
Just kidding.
Did somebody say just eat?
Remember me? The mullet? The big wedding? No? That's okay. Because I'm talking to those who do. Cadbury Dark Milk is a completely different type of chocolate. Creamy like milk chocolate, but also richer and darker too. It's for people who've grown up a bit. You could say it's been made especially for you.
Dark Milk, the richest creamy chocolate Cadbury has ever made. Sky Store. 4 good reasons to stay in this September. And here we go.
Well, let's get started. Watch this.
Our planet will perish unless they set Godzilla free. Watched straight from the cinema. Someone's in my litter box.
Oh, man. So how does it feel to be a star? Just enjoy it while we can.
Stay in with the latest movies this September in Sky Store. Your favourite landlord is back in charge.
Julie, can you add that to your to-do list, please?
What can you put on your to-do list?
Delegate to Julie. Tick. Smashed it.
And he's serving up new challenges.
Why's the door locked? Because I think it's hard to keep the romance alive when you've seen someone having it.
Romesh is back in full swing.
Okay, don't be angry. Magic is still there.
The brand new series of The Reluctant Landlord. All episodes available now on Sky One.
So, a frustrating day in Manchester with various rain interruptions. Australia managed 170 for 3, so Steve Smith will resume day 2 on 60 not out. Marnus Labuschagne, another good contribution with 67, so we start at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Now, as far as this game is concerned, well, batting has not been easy, but a very smart, a very intelligent and a very thoughtful partnership between Alex Davies and Dane Villas has set up a very decent total. Ravi Bopara has had a good night with the ball. He's going to need a pretty good night with the bat as well. All wrapped up and ready to go, Mark Butcher and Graham Onions. How pleased are you with the way your team have just played there?
Very. I think that's a fantastic score. I think you could be greedy and say I always want more, but I think that's a winning score. I think the way, we did exactly what we talked about, before the game started. Running hard, the middle overs were always going to be key. Obviously try and get off to a good start as well, but the good start didn't always happen, but Alex Davies played a fantastic knock with Dane Villas as well, and didn't actually look towards hitting the boundaries. They just ran well and ran Essex ragged, really. It was a fantastic performance.
What impressed you about the Davies innings?
Well, just exactly what Bunny said, actually. He worked out the conditions, worked out that sort of standing there and trying to bang the ball back over mid-off and mid-on over the bowler's head, that there was no mileage in it whatsoever. And so all he did was just let the ball come as close to him as possible and find gaps, punch the ball through gaps, square of the wicket. I mean, when the ball was brand new, he got away a couple of extra cover drives, but after that, it was literally that. Wait for the ball to get close to you, deflect it somewhere, deflect it backward a square, get it into the gaps. Always looking square of the wicket, always looking to be clever and using whatever the pace or whatever pace the bowlers gave him to work with, which at times wasn't anything at all, but such as his skill with his wrists and everything else, he was able to still make something of it.
How much was of that partnership with he and Dane Villas was about holding your nerve and not panicking when perhaps the boundaries weren't coming at the early part of that partnership?
Well, I think that the advantage of that is having Dane Villas in there. He's got experience. He's been there, done it. He's the person that's probably speaking to Alex Davies. Although he's a pretty experienced player himself now. He's played a lot of T22. So I would say that them working together, talking and say, right, what is our score? We thought 140. Before we bowled on it because we thought it was going to be dry. We've got over that now, but they'll be saying out there now in that huddle, they'll be saying, right, we're right in this game now. We need to get going. These lads are going to be ready.
What about the run chase? How do Essex go about this?
Well, I mean, Cameron Delport, they'll sort of say to him, you've got free rein, do whatever you want. Because if he comes off, he can kill a game for you in 12 overs or something. So I think he will be the exception. For guys like Wesley, Dan Lawrence, and particularly Ravi Bopara, who they're going to leave to the back end of the innings, they will have to be the smart ones. Dan Lawrence has played brilliantly throughout the blast, scored a lot of runs at a very high strike rate, around the 160s. But for those guys, they're going to have to take a little bit of a leaf out of Alex Davies' book. They also may be hoping that there is some dew out there. It isn't as heavy as it was last week, but it still will come on slightly better, I feel, under lights than it did earlier on. And therefore, if they can hold their nerve in the same way that Alex Davies did, then they can chase this down. 160 is not out of reach, despite the fact that it's the highest score that's been made here all summer.
It'll be very interesting to see whether they open with a spinner. They've done that on various occasions. Stephen Croft then may take the new ball. We will find that out very, very shortly. But they need 160 to win here, Essex, for a place in the semi-finals. And, well, they've won the last 2 games. They've had some very good performances there. But they're going to be up against a very, very strong Lancashire bowling line. As we thought, it is going to be a little bit of spin to get us going, Stephen Croft. It may just be 1 over, but they will certainly have a look at that. We're not sure whether the conditions have changed much. We don't think they probably have. There is a talk, a little bit of chat about perhaps the dew, but conditions look very similar at this stage. Right then, big innings for Essex here. As I say, they've played really, really well in the last couple of games, so a bit of pressure on the 2 openers, Tom Wesley and Cameron Delport. Let's join Dominic Cork and Charlie Dagner.
Thanks, Nick. So very simple. 8 and over required by Essex. 3 wins from their last 4 with 1 tied game, and here's Stephen Croft to kick things off. Too eager. Tom Wesley. Been a pretty decent touch in recent weeks. A little bit of wobble from Stephen Croft. Yeah, forced away. First boundary. Just sat up nicely. Wesley's not going to miss out.
Former seam bowler, isn't he, Stephen Croft? Ball before was a split finger. This one was another one dragged down. And once you bit the infield here, another split finger. So off and running then, Essex.
Picked up well again by Wesley. Strange types of deliveries, these split fingers. There's a little bit of wobble. Wesley, doesn't matter how much it wobbles when you connect like that. Very strong through the leg side. Consecutive boundaries for Essex. How much are you learning, if you're Essex, then, from what Lancashire and Alex Davis did, the innings he played?
Well, somebody has to bat. Your top 4, when you look at to chase something down, one of your top 4 has got to be in 16, 17 overs. If that is the case, as you saw with Alex Davis, you've got a chance of winning the game. We've lost the ball at the moment. That's why there's a... We found it. Stuck in covers down there. But yeah, if you look at the lineup, when you've got somebody like Bopara coming in at 6, you look at their lineup, Wesley, Delport, Wheater, Lawrence, Tendashkata, one of those bat all the way through. 15, 16 overs, you've got a chance. This isn't going to be easy, this chase. It'll depend on the power play. Depend on whether Lancashire can put them under pressure by taking early wickets.
Well, you wouldn't imagine that it's a Cameron Delport type of pitch. He's a blaster.
I'm on top, Crofty.
End to the over. 8 runs from it. 1 gone, 8 without loss. So I just wonder if Essex has sort of sent Cameron Delport out with similar tactics that he normally has. He hit a big century, 129 early on in the summer, and a couple of 50 since. But he's one of those sort of all or nothing types of cricketers.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see Delport plays. You're right, he's more of a blaster. Strike rate just under 140. 500s. And that 100 you talked about this year against Surrey. Pace on offer now in Saki Mahmood. Interesting to see how he bowls on this surface. On the opposite side, he looked at Porter. He took a lot of pace off, didn't he, in the power play?
Well, he loves a telegame. Does Saqib Mahmood.
But I'm also a believer that, okay, this surface suits slower bowling, maybe in the likes of Bopara, spin bowling, but I also think when somebody's got a bit of pace and height, you slap it in back of a length, stump, just on the bails, top of the stumps. I still think, and bowl straight, I still think that's difficult to hit.
Forced away from Delport and gets off the mark.
That sort of length, even though he obviously got quite a good chunk of that to get it out towards Livingston. But straight, trying to hit the top of the bails, bowl it into the surface. Too many times when bowlers with this new ball think about this sort of service thing, I've got to take pace off, I've got to take pace off. Yes, but don't always take pace off. Don't always become predictable.
Oh, easy. He didn't take the pace off. 85 miles an hour. And Wesley trying to manoeuvre it. Tries to spoon it straight into the hands of Saqib Mahmood. The breakthrough for Lancashire.
Bowl it into the surface. Exactly what he did. Straight. Sat in the surface. Good. Caught and bowl. Simple chance, really. Look at the length. Look at the height. Just probably over the top of the bails, but it's perfect from Mahmood. It's a perfect start by the Lancashire Lightning. They needed an early wicket. They have it. Wesley goes for 8. 9 for 1.
They travel to the game? I hate them.
If by hate you mean you're extremely jealous because you wish you were there, but instead you're in Watford watching Gareth from accounting run in a wet t-shirt, I get it.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Don't hate like their trip. Book yours with Hotels.com and get a reward night at thousands of properties. Hotels.com. Be there, do that, get rewarded.
Adam Weiser into face Saqib Mahmood. Wicketkeeper for Essex. That's just the type of cotton bowl you want. And it just loops. And just on the way that Saqib Mahmood is bowling, or the pace that you were talking about. Oh, goodness me. Caught behind is the appeal. By Mike Burns, not interested. Stoic look from him.
I think Dave Villas knows he's not hit this. He's just heard something. Oh, he's miles away from it. Typical keeper wants to come in, wants to hear that sweep. That's what Wheater does, but 90 miles an hour, that delivery.
That's a brilliant over from Saqib Mahmood. Just the 1-1 and the wicket. 9 for 1 after 2. Yeah, just on the pace that you're talking about, and that mindset that bowlers get themselves into, that, you know, they feel that they've got to take pace off it due to the nature of this pitch. Is that why we'll see a lot of cross seamers and wobble seamers from the fast bowlers?
Possibly, but I still think if your action is going to look to actually hit that back of a length, or your wrist position, I think sometimes just keep it simple. You can get a little bit of movement, a little bit of seam movement. Doesn't matter what the surface is like. You can hit the surface hard, as we saw with Mahmood there. Sits in the surface, maybe holds up. Brilliant this. I think this is another good move by Dane Villas. You'll watch Maxwell here, who's at mid-off. He's not captain, but he's always involved. He's always looking to change the field. Talks to, obviously, Gleeson. I think this is a good move. Get Delport out, get into this middle order.
Now, after he played that innings at Nottinghamshire, I spoke to him during the player of the match. I've not seen Glenn Maxwell enjoy his cricket as much as this for a long, long time. He's really enjoying his time at Old Trafford. big grin on his face. Was gutted he missed out on the team song when they won. Flicked away. There is protection out in the deep. Work to do for Davis.
What the seam bowlers also, just to pick up again on why I think keep with what it comes naturally to you as a seam bowler. If your fingers are behind the seam, then keep the same. What you're trying to stop is them to hit you back over your head. So that's why it's imperative that you get the length right.
Dragged a little bit. Maxwell it is.
See, that's slightly over-pitched. The ball before was a better length that went out to, what are they trying to protect? They're trying to protect the square boundaries. What a fielder. Maxwell is a very good fielder. This is probably one of the better fielding groups in the whole competition, what I've seen anyway. They're quick to the ball, all got good arms.
Look at his eyes just darting around. Entirety of the field.
And that's good because Dane Villas understands that he can actually control. He can see different angles from where he is.
A little bit of rain starting to fall out there. Again, that could make a difference. Listen to what Mark Butcher was suggesting, that actually Lancashire don't want there to be, you'd imagine, a great deal of rain around. That might come on a little bit more.
Need to be 34 for 1 is par, so they need to be 35 at 5 overs. That constitutes a game. 5 overs. That's what we want as well. Some of those chips.
Ferguson chips. Swing and a miss. Had 4 cups of coffee.
Oh, look at it. It's coming in now. It's that fine stuff.
Soaks you through.
This is where, as a side, you just try and take another wicket here if you're bowling side. What does the batting side look to do?
That's probably the length you're talking about there. Again, it's Maxwell. Such a dangerous person to run against. Got 5 runs coming from that Gleeson over. A good 1, 3 overs gone. Essex 14 for 1.
Clearly home. I think also, as a captain now, where do you look? What are your options now as a captain? I know that he's involved in making the decisions. Who do you go to now if, say, the rain is going to come in, 5 overs left, go to your best bowler? Your best bowler. Who's your best bowler in that Lancashire side? Faulkner.
Just throw one at you, though. If they're worried about the rain, do you throw an over to Matt Parkinson? Quick over, get it through. Another spinner from the other end, perhaps.
No.
Just to get it to 5,
no.
Given the position you're in.
No. I think the umpires are going to stay on and try and get... This game is going to try and finish tonight. What they're going to do is they want it over with tonight, unless for some reason it rains now and they have to come off because it's too heavy. So just remember, if it starts raining really hard now, the umpires are going to get together. Martin Saggers is looking at Burns here. Maybe they're going to make a decision to go off. They are going to go off. You can hear him just say over the stump mic, maybe you're not picking it up from home, but he said it's just a little bit too heavy at the moment.
Well, as you mentioned, the par score at the end of 5 overs, which would constitute a game, was 34. So Lancashire hold the upper hand at the moment. And one keeps our fingers crossed that this is just a passing shower. It isn't super heavy. It's not lashing it down, but it's just heavy enough for the players to be removed.
Well, as you actually look now, I don't think we're going to be off too long here. I can just see through in the distance that it is just starting to get a little bit lighter. The umpires are considering getting them back out here. They're not going to move at the moment.
Floodlights or something that it's lighter. It's pitch black. How can you tell?
Because I ate me carrots when I was younger. See in the dark, mate. Look, if it was lashing down, the two umpires would have walked off. They are staying out there at the moment. I'm not saying it's still raining, obviously. You can see it in the floodlights, but...
It's getting lighter over there.
Wouldn't it be great to be in a truck at the moment, just nice and covered up and... Get that.
Ice cream weather. Look at that. The light and shade of the day. One clutching onto a hot cup of coffee, the other with an ice cream. Oh, it's right. I'd rather be clutching.
Stopping.
Maybe in Derby that's stopping.
I'm just going to have a look at me app I've got. I'm going to see what it...
carry on. 14 for 1 then. Essex required it 146 to win from 101 balls. So that rate already has leapt to 8.6. That after just 3 overs. 1 wicket for was that. Tom Wesley. Like Dominic Cork suggests, that it's taken a little while for Mike Burns and Martin Saggers with their camera caps to make their way from the field. The groundsman not in too much of a hurry to get the tarpaulin covers on. So, that's what's occurred so far. Tom Wesley just going a little early on one, leapt on him, and Saqib Mahmood taking the most simple, caught and bowled 2 boundaries for Wesley, constituting that 8 from 7 balls. Now Wheater trying to get to grips with this situation and with also the conditions. Just the 3 bowlers used. Good over from Rich Gleeson as well. Just conceding 5. So Essex losing that early wicket, not getting off to the strongest start. 160 will take some getting, but got plenty in that middle order. Can do the job for them. It's just a matter of when. Well, whilst they try and keep the wetness off the bowler's run-ups and off the wicket, we have to wait just a little bit before we get some cricket again. We'll be back in a moment after this break.
Something I want to show you.
This is an opportunity.
Exactly.
Show me.
What's going on? You must be ready.
I am.
Oh, now will they be?
This September on Sky Sports, get ready for drama, excitement, and unmissable action. How's that?
Certainly box office.
Outstanding batting.
What a finish.
That is absolutely epic.
What a player he is.
He's off and running.
Well, it doesn't get much better than that.
Listen to the roar. This September on Sky Sports. Feel it all.
I run Fox News. Anyone out
outside is the enemy.
We need to reclaim this country for the real Americans.
Gretchen?
Roger. I'm broadening my audience.
Well, I hired you because you're a beauty queen.
He's a bully.
I will do anything to protect my people. I'm a multifaceted man.
She says she's had it almost a year. You didn't know?
I love you so much. I won't give up.
I'm looking for a surgeon to perform a procedure on an acquaintance of mine.
Could you meet me at Temple Tube Station? It's a matter of life and death.
What the hell is this place?
It's a clinic for people who don't want to go into the system. You ever throw up or anything?
I know what we were doing here was crazy, but I always thought it was born out of love.
I don't care how risky or illegal it is, because I can't give up.
Give me a clamp. No, they're scissors, a clamp.
This is a dangerous time for you, when you will be tempted by the dark side of the Force.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi.
I'm not afraid. You will be.
Witness every side of the ultimate space saga with the Sky Cinema Star Wars collection. Give yourself to the dark side. Fulfill your destiny.
I'll never turn to the dark side.
I'm a Jedi. Choose your side with Sky Cinema Star Wars. Available now.
हेलो दोस्तों, इंडिया और वेस्टइंडीज के बीच 2 मैचों की टेस्ट सीरीज के दूसरे मुकाबले में एक नया इतिहास रच गया। दरअसल इस टेस्ट के जरिए दुनिया के सबसे वजनदार क्रिकेटर ने इस टेस्ट क्रिकेट में अपना डेब्यू किया है। वेस्टइंडीज के इस क्रिकेटर का नाम हकीम कार्नवाल है और हकीम का वजन 143 किलोग्राम है और उनकी हाइट 6 फुट 5 इंच है। अपने वजन और अपनी हाइट की वजह से वो विशाल दिखते हैं। वहीं इतने वजन के किसी भी क्रिकेटर ने इससे पहले इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट नहीं खेला है। दोस्तों, भारत के खिलाफ टेस्ट में डेब्यू करते ही हकीम दुनिया के पहले ऐसे क्रिकेटर बन गए हैं जिन्होंने इतने वजन के साथ टेस्ट क्रिकेट में डेब्यू किया हो। इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट में अभी तक कोई भी खिलाड़ी 120 किलोग्राम के वजन से ज्यादा कभी नहीं खेला है। क्रिकेट के इतिहास में अभी तक सबसे ज्यादा वजन के खिलाड़ी के तौर पर बरमुंडा के खिलाड़ी डोवेन का नाम है, जिन्होंने साल 2007 के वर्ल्ड कप में क्रिकेट खेला था। उस दौरान उनका वजन 127 किलोग्राम था। हालांकि वेस्टइंडीज की टीम में हकीम के अलावा कई वजनदार खिलाड़ी है, लेकिन उनका वजन हकीम जितना नहीं है। हकीम कार्नेवाल के अलावा एथलीट ब्रेथवेट 120 किलोग्राम और कप्तान जेसन होल्डर का वजन करीब 110 किलोग्राम है। इसके अलावा किरोन पोलार्ड 100 किलोग्राम और क्रिस गेल 98 किलोग्राम के हैं। दोस्तों, हकीम कार्नेवाल ने पहली बार इस टेस्ट मैच के जरिए इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट में कदम रखा है। उन्होंने इससे पहले वेस्टइंडीज के लिए घरेलू स्तर पर क्रिकेट खेला था। 26 साल के हकीम गजब के ऑलराउंडर है, जो उनके प्रदर्शन से साफ नजर आता है। हकीम दाहिने हाथ से बल्लेबाजी करते हैं, जबकि वो राइट आर्म ऑफ ब्रेक गेंदबाज भी है। हकीम अभी तक घरेलू क्रिकेट और T20 लीग्स में नजर आए हैं। हकीम कार्नेवाल 55 फर्स्ट क्लास क्रिकेट मैच खेल चुके हैं, जिसमें उन्होंने 1 शतक और 13 अर्धशतकों के साथ 2224 रन बनाए हैं। इसके अलावा वे अभी तक 55 टेस्ट मैचों में 260 विकेट भी चटका चुके हैं।
First ball 86 and 85. That one was that back of the length that stuck in the surface. Again, high pace, 90 miles an hour. Ball straight at the stumps. It's what you get with Saqib Mahmood. Loves playing.
दुनिया के सबसे वजनी क्रिकेटर ने मैदान पर की छक्कों की बारिश देखकर हर कोई रह गया हैरान। वेस्ट इंडीज की घरेलू टी20 टूर्नामेंट कैरेबियन प्रीमियर लीग CPL का कुमार इन दिनों क्रिकेट प्रेमियों के सर चढ़कर बोल रहा है। इस लीग में दुनिया भर के क्रिकेटर्स अपना दम दिखा रहे हैं। जैसे जैसे यह टूर्नामेंट अपने अंजाम की ओर बढ़ रहा है, वैसे वैसे यह और भी रोमांचक होता जा रहा है। आए दिन नए नए रिकॉर्ड्स बन रहे हैं। दिग्गज बल्लेबाजों की तूफानी पारियां सामने आ रही हैं। इस बीच इस टूर्नामेंट में वेस्ट इंडीज की एक खिलाड़ी की चर्चा जोरों पर हो रही है। जितना भारी भरकम यह खिलाड़ी है उतनी ही खतरनाक इसकी बल्लेबाजी भी है। बीते दिनों 140 किलो वजनी इस खिलाड़ी ने मैदान पर ऐसी पारी खेली कि हर तरफ बस इसी की चर्चा हो रही है। आइए जानते हैं कौन यह खिलाड़ी। गुरुवार को सेंट लूसिया स्टार्स और बारबाडोस ट्राइडेंट्स के बीच मैच खेला गया। बारबाडोस ने पहले बल्लेबाजी करते हुए ड्वेन स्मिथ की तूफानी शतक की बदौलत 20 ओवर में 4 विकेट के नुकसान पर 194 का स्कोर बनाया। लक्ष्य का पीछा करने उतरी सेंट लूसिया स्टार्स की तरफ से रहकीम कॉर्नवॉल ने सिर्फ 44 गेंदों में 6 छक्कों और 7 चौकों की मदद से नाबाद 78 रनों की तूफानी पारी खेली। हालांकि उनकी पारी टीम को जीत न दिला सकी। बारबाडोस ने सेंट लूसिया को ये मैच 29 रनों से हरा दिया, लेकिन इसके बावजूद भी यह खिलाड़ी रातों रात स्टार बन गया है। रहकीम कॉर्नवॉल को दुनिया का सबसे भारी भरकम क्रिकेटर माना जा रहा है। रहकीम कॉर्नवॉल ने सेंट लूसिया के एक छोर से गिरते विकेटों के बीच 44 गेंदों में 78 रनों की पारी खेली। उन्होंने महज 26 गेंदों में टी20 क्रिकेट में अपना पहला अर्धशतक भी पूरा किया। जब वे तेजी से अपने शतक की ओर बढ़ रहे थे तभी उन्हें मैदान छोड़कर वापस जाना पड़ा। 18वें
Simple for Lancashire, get 9 wickets or restrict Essex from getting that 146.
Well, we hope we see more cricket tonight. As you say, this, depending on obviously the situation here and how long this rain comes down for, and you're right, it has to be as good enough for both sides to have a competitive chance of getting through to finals day. If there is a reserve day, that will happen tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
Yes. I'm just not sure with this rain whether this will help Essex because of the surface being slow, whether a little bit of moisture just make the ball just slide on a little bit more, make it difficult for obviously the spin bowlers to then grip the ball. The outfield is going to stay wet. No way it's going to dry tonight. So in some ways this might help Essex.
And by the same token, you don't want to bowl with a damp ball.
Certainly don't. Mark Butcher was on about the dew. Maybe that's the dew that will help the wicket, the rain. That is a heavy dew. It's getting a little bit easier. Umpires, it's so difficult for them because they're not sure. They want to try and get a game in. They keep looking up. Need to have my eyes. They can see little gaps.
See, you keep calling me. I keep looking out towards the darkness to see if I can see a gap. Having me on.
It's when I come out with lines of anticyclonic clouds as well. That will get it all going. Paul Ellett, we saw him there. Director of cricket, he's in the changing rooms. There's Waltz just having a word with the umpires. You know what he's showing? He's showing the app that I gave him last year. £1.75 it cost us.
No ads. Well, whilst Walter converses with the umpires, Glenn Chappell you can see just behind Stephen Croft. Big coat night at the Riverside. So maybe we'll get the thoughts of Nick Knight and Mark Butcher and Graham Onions before too long. 14 for 1, 3.1 overs gone, and the rain continues to come. We'll be back after this.
Further.
Well, I gotta get the world off my back. Somehow.
Come on, Dad. I'm hungry.
Get on. Get some bickers on.
Cookie making robot arms will never happen. But with the new BP Me rewards card, getting little rewards more often will. BP Me Rewards, making every day brighter.
Raspberry, apple and carrot, no added sugar granola. New from WK Kellogg, plant-based, no added sugar granolas, voted product of the year.
Alexa, what's the time? It's 6 a.m. Alexa, what's the weather like right now? Currently it's light rain.
Take off for New York with Expedia. You can book your flight, hotel, car hire and activities all in one place. Everything you need to go. Expedia, atoll protected.
This is a dangerous time for you, when you will be tempted by the dark side of the Force.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi.
I'm not afraid.
You will be. Witness every side of the ultimate space saga with a Sky Cinema Star Wars collection. Give yourself to the dark side. Fulfill your destiny.
I'll never turn to the dark side. I am a Jedi.
Choose your side with Sky Cinema Star Wars. Available now.
The brand new series of The Reluctant Landlord.
So exciting!
The magic is still there.
All episodes available now on Sky One.
Next on the team for Europe, Charlie Hall.
She just takes dead aim.
Well, let's hope that the weather improves tomorrow. We still have 3 remaining quarterfinals. Tomorrow at Trent Bridge, Notts Outlaws versus Middlesex. We understand Mujib is returning for Middlesex, so Mujib and AB de Villiers will line up against Alex Hales and the Notts Outlaws. It should be a cracking game. We're going to be following the test match in all those games, so we're going to be on around about 7 o'clock. Friday, Sussex Sharks playing against Worcestershire. That, of course, is a rerun of last year's final. Worcestershire, we understand no Hamish Rutherford. He's gone out to play for New Zealand because Martin Guptill has got injured. And of course, he was playing for Worcestershire as well. So all changed there. Saturday, Gloucestershire versus Corky's Derbyshire. Corky's very excited, understandably, about Derbyshire playing in that game against Michael Clean's Gloucestershire. Gloucestershire have played very, very well in the last few games. That should be a cracking game down there at Bristol. As I say, 6:55. This is where we are. It's a bit grim out there at the moment, unfortunately, but we still have around about 15, 16 minutes before we lose any overs, so it's still a chance of a full game, though it's heavy drizzle at the moment. It's not abated at all, so it's still looking pretty miserable out there. But Essex reply 14-1. If you weren't with us, an hour or two, Alex Davies played quite brilliantly to set things up for Lancashire Lightning. It was a brilliant partnership with Dane Villas. So they have 159 for 5 on the board. How well did he play, Butch?
Really well, yeah. I think for me the key, despite these terrific shots against the new ball, was what he did once the lacquer came off the ball and things got a little bit slower out there. He just waited for the ball to come alongside him, played predominantly square of the wicket or behind the wicket. And it's got really good wrist, great timing, and looks to have a sort of a terrific brain for kind of working out the angles and working out his scoring options.
Yeah, his ability to manipulate the field really is second to none. I've said before the game started, we had Livingston up top, who generally stands still, maybe goes forward towards the bowler and tries to hit the ball hard over the top. He goes sideways across the pitch. And use these little dabs and obviously when the spin, which is going to be key on that pitch, going back and using that spin and waiting until it comes right towards the stumps and then cutting it behind square, which he did beautifully today. The run-in with Dane Villas was outstanding as well.
What we need is a little bit of local knowledge. Obviously, you played a lot of cricket here. What do you reckon? Are we going to get back out there tonight?
Yeah, I'm not. Like what Corky says, it's clear enough because you can't actually see, you can't see a thing. But
it's dark at night time, isn't it?
It doesn't look great, does it? I mean, it is getting slightly better, but It's funny because when we came off the pitch, Saki was going to bowl again. So Saki and Glees bowled 2 fantastic overs there. I was thinking, get another one in. Let's get another one in. But then now it's came down. The grass is going to be wet. I called Porky earlier on, Mystic Meg. He's not going to be able to hold the ball. It's going to be very hard for him to get that ball in his hand and spin it. So it's going to be tough. What's the best case scenario? Look, I think the crowd's here. I think we get the game going. I still think the best team will win.
What do you reckon the players are thinking now, Butch? I mean, there's a reserve day tomorrow, so they can come back and finish the game tomorrow. Would they rather have a potentially shortened game here, or finish the game properly tomorrow?
If I'm Essex, I want to finish the game tonight. In terms of Duckworth-Lewis, if the ball is hard to grip for the spinners and for the seamers, and the ball starts to come on a bit better on this pitch, then if I'm Essex, you want to get this game done tonight. Absolutely no question about it. The conditions, I thought they might change in the second half. It's turned out that it's rain that's changed them, but I thought that there would be a change, and that batting might be a little bit easier in the second half of the game. So, look, if we can get it on tonight, all these people that have travelled up here, I know that, as I've said, there's a marquee full of people watching a big screen back there at Chelmsford as well. It'd be terrific to reward those people for their efforts to come out and support this quarter-final. We're finishing the game tonight.
It's quite a tricky one, isn't it, for the umpires, because they've tried to get them out. It doesn't look like it's raining, if anything, at the moment, does it?
I think we'll get the overs in, but I think right now, I would, from Lancaster's point of view, I'd probably rather start again tomorrow. I'm with Butch. From Essex's point of view, is that I want to get the ball as wet as you possibly can. The spinners who are going to be crucial on this pitch, not going to be able to hold the ball, and obviously in the field as well, it's going to be tough. I still think that we've got, Lancs have got that ability with the extra pace. I mean, you see the way we started. We've got extra pace, which makes the slow balls even more effective. Essex's pace was generally down. We've seen some balls there at 90 mile an hour from Mahmood, which is great. Makes them cutters and them cross seamers into the pitch just a little bit harder to play against.
Rushing to try and get the covers off, which is a good sign. I don't think it will take long. Once they make the decision that they can get back out there, the players will be ready, and it won't take much to get those off either. So I don't think we're going to be in for much more of a delay, which of course is good news. Whilst we do wait, though, what about the innings of Dane Villas? What about the contribution that he's made to that score that they have on the board?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'll touch on this game, but it's been the whole season, really. I mean, he's been absolutely outstanding. You're talking about hitting the ball, 360, reverses against the spinners, runs hard, puts the ball under pressure consistently, hooks and pulls really, really well. He's got an all-rounded game. He's a quality performer, without a doubt. He's our captain. He leads by example. I mean, he actually only came back today because I think he was at a funeral. It might have been his granddad's funeral. So for him to come back and first year as captain, we love him. This year he's been really, really good. He's been our star performer.